All the best, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone check with link? Yes, Laima. Prasanna, you check with live link తో ఒకసారి చెక్ చేయండి.
వస్తుంది. It's coming.
Okay.
I'm watching
Okay,
it on
sir.
my mobile also.
Okay. Good evening and warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us on this Monday evening. And greetings on the occasion of World Diabetes Day to all of you and coaches and all the doctors who honored my request and for being here. So first of all, for those of you who are not aware of what holistic nutrition is, and just I want to give you a brief introduction about what holistic approach is. Many people think that when you hear the word holistic, people think that either you are doing yoga, meditation, or it is some kind of Ayurvedic concoctions that we use, or it's more of a homeopathic in nature or naturopathy, something like that. But when we say holistic practice or holistic approach, what we actually do is instead of focusing exclusively on disease management, okay, so we focus on the person who is having an illness or an imbalance with their metabolism. So here the focus is more on a person, not the disease per se. So when we say that, we are not totally objectively looking into the disease alone, so which is the hallmark of practicing allopathy. So when we are practicing allopathy, so any case of diabetes is a diabetes, right? So there are like excess sugar levels in the blood and they may lead to complications if untreated or managed not properly. But in holistic, along managing the disease objectively, what we do is we look into more into the person, right? A person is not just his physical body or his physiology. A person is more than what his physical, what do you say, physical composition or the physiological aspects. So a person has got the relationships with himself, with his family, and with his friends, colleagues, and a patient is also is identified by the work they do, the education they possess, and the social relationships they have, and all these things put together forms a person. So in holistic approach, what we see is where the imbalance lies in all these 7 areas. We call this as like rainbow therapy kind of thing, because we look into all 7 areas, 7 important areas of a human being. So when we look into this, we try to identify those blocks in those certain areas, because that is the reason why most of the time the colleagues of mine who are practicing this holistic nutrition, the history taking will go on for hours. Sometimes it is 1 hour, 2 hours. In extreme cases, it may go up to 4 hours also. And more than that, I mean, some of the coaches, they have taken more history, ranging more than 4 hours also. So why this elaborate history taking? That is where we try to identify the cause of the cause. Okay, let me help you understand this phrase. What is the cause of the cause? We all know that diabetes is an effect. And what is the cause for that? Lack of enough insulin, which is type 1, or lack of dysfunctional insulin. That means insulin is not working properly. We call this as insulin resistance, which we predominantly see in type 2. So the cause is dysfunctional or absolute lack of insulin, which leads to type 1 or type 2 diabetes. But what is the cause of lack of insulin or dysfunctional insulin or insulin resistance? That is the cause of the cause. It could be simply our inactivity, or changes in our lifestyle, unhealthy eating habits, excess weight, or like stress stemming from any of these 7 areas of life. So all these things are collectively known as cause of the cause. So holistic nutrition means we look into this cause of the cause, we try to identify the cause of the cause and try to eliminate this with appropriate interventions. So there are so many interventions that we follow along with nutritional intervention. There are so many other interventions we follow. We call them as holistic tools. Okay, so we do employ certain tools like yoga or meditation or physical activity or aerobics, you name it. But they are not, they are only tools. They are not the tools for diabetes. So from case to case, the tools that we employ as coaches differ. So basically, this is what nutrition is all about. So today's topic on the occasion of World Diabetes Day, what we'd like to share with all of you is the power or the magic of synergy. Synergy is 1 + 1 is 2. We all know that. But what if you get more than 2? That is what is possible with synergy. 1 + 1 can give you 11 or 111. That is the power of synergy. That means when two forces come together with the intention of achieving a result, so the result, the outcome is much more than what we normally anticipate. Okay, that is what is synergy. And what kind of synergy am I talking about here? So when we start practicing or applying this medical nutrition therapy along with this holistic tools, which makes it as holistic nutrition management or therapy. Um, so this thing, along with the medical treatment, so will give you the results which are long lasting, that is sustainable, and most of the cases the results are beyond what we anticipate in allopathic practice. Say for example, growing up as a medical student and or a period of years, we have all been taught that once you're a diabetic for life. That means you have to take medication for life. Same is the case with hypothyroidism or hypertension or so many other lifestyle disorders. But when we apply these principles and when we are able to apply these principles and identify the cause of the cause and eliminate the cause of the cause and apply certain tools to bring back the body into the balance, we are able to achieve some of the excellent results. And this has happened because some of the doctors who are like forward thinking and who have open mind to the possibility that if there is an imbalance, there must be a way to bring our body back to the balance. So one of such a doctors we are fortunate to have with us and believing in our principles is Dr. Nagaraj. He is an MD. He's a very good, renowned virologist from Vijayawada. He is practicing in Vijayawada. He's a practicing diabetologist also, physician diabetologist. So when he first came across this holistic principles and holistic training, he got really fascinated and he wanted to test it out and he wanted to learn. So he applied that on some of his patients and achieved wonderful results. So when I said like on this World Diabetes Day, you'll be listening to some of the incredible stories. So this is one of the first story that I would like all of you to listen. Dr. Nag, are you there?
Yeah, Suresh.
Yeah. So I mean, I saw the feedback. I mean, the testimonial of one of your clients. So you said like you applied from weight loss from whom all the principles and you counseled her, and from 350 plus, her fasting has come down and PPBS is within the range within I think 3 to 4 months. Could you please elaborate on like your journey with your client with holistic approach?
Yeah, thank you, Suresh. Yeah, first I would like to congratulate all of our coaches who made it this diabetes reversal a reality. So when I have joined hands with Holistic Nutrition Works, it is around second year. This is 2 years back. Uh, Initially, I was also very skeptical about the holistic thing, and even I felt that this is something not in lines with our practices. But after joining the holistic training and HNTP and advanced HNTP, and following the principles that have been taught by Dr. Suresh, I have started experimenting with holistic tools application to my patients. And what I really felt is uh, actually we get short with history taking. So in routine clinical practices, we quickly just see that in the parameters like what is the glucose levels, what is the current situation, is there any other complications are there, so what we need to do, how to decrease the glucose levels, and what are the oral hypoglycemic drugs should be kept, or the insulin that's needed. So we go on like the blah blah blah. So it will be going on. But once I have joined the holistic training, and what I felt is we need to listen to the patient in length and breadth, so that we will get the clear picture of the cause of the root cause, the cause of the cause. So I started thinking in that lines, and I have selected I have taken a few of the page because of my time constraints, I could not apply all the things holistic tools to all of the patients. But I've selected few of my patients, and I have taken a little bit of more history, and I have posted to all of my colleagues one case where initially the patient came with high blood sugars around 350, and he's having increased triglycerides and also hypertensive, and she is using higher doses of antihypertensives. Uh, so she presented to me in a very difficult situation. And one thing after taking a detailed history of the patient, uh, I came to a conclusion that the patient is very much motivated, and she want to uh, I want to work out. I want to adopt every thing that you say, but not medications. You please help me, doctor. I will do whatever you advise to me. Lifestyle modifications, and already she is doing a lot of lifestyle modifications, but she's not able to achieve the results. So then I simply listen to all of our story, which we usually say in a holistic language, and then I have mapped these 7 areas of life, and then been given a few modifications basing upon the holistic tools we are taught by our Dr. Suresh sir, and she and also the dietary advice. Actually, the dietary advice is also in here in holistic. We use the dietary as well as the other things that are being needed for the restoration of the pathology to physiology. So this point which you have to to stress on the pathological condition, which now the patient is the pathology is the disease. So the pathological condition should be restored to the physiological condition. That means normalization. It takes like a lot of strength and courage from the coach, as well as from the patient, as well as from the client. So in holistic thing, we never call our patient, we call them as a client. Okay, and here. So initially, I have been advised her a few diet.
You are muted now.
Yeah, are you able to hear?
Yes.
Yeah. So I have been advised a dietary intervention based upon the principles that are being laid in weight loss from home program done by Dr. Suresh, and there's a version 2, recently version 2. I have been applied those principles. And also, this is very straightforward. One thing that catched me is one third raw, one third semi cooked, and one third cooked. This is the only principle because I'm not a nutritionist. I don't know the calorific values or the fat or carbohydrate content, so and so and so, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't know anything. Okay, because we, as a physicians, all we never consider the nutrition as the something like which will life changing or game changing thing. It's only like an additive. But after traveling with the nutrition coaches and the holistic coaches, I have been learned a lot about these nutrition things. But the fundamental principle is that which have been laid down in the weight loss from home program is being applied. I was taking the 24 hours food recall. This is one of the wonderful tool that we use, and we have taken the 24-hour food recall and done a little bit of interventions in uh, her food thing, and also few holistic tools have been explained in detail to her, and she meticulously followed. And I never believed that. I only tried. I made it try, but I never believed that it will happen in 1 month. And initially, I also kept the diabetic drugs so that we need to decrease the glucose content in the blood so that the opportunistic organisms or the pathogens which will cause a deep-seated infections, silent infections. So we need to prevent that. So we have been started on oral hypoglycemic drugs, and also our cholesterol level, to decrease our cholesterol levels. I have started on these cholesterol decreasing drugs. Uh, in 1 month, what happened is from 300, our blood sugar levels have been drastically fall down to nearly the normal. They have touched their normal, and she's accompanied by her husband. And initially, her husband is not it. Is like, you doctor, you please prescribe all the medication that needed. We will follow it strictly. I will take care of that. She will take all the medications. After 1 month, he came, and literally his eyes were lit up, and he's saying, "Doctor, what now the situation means?" I said, "I'm in no mood in continuing the drugs. I'm not interested in troubling the patient so that she may land in the hypoglycemic episodes, and suddenly she will be presenting to me in an emergency." So I said, I will cut down all the drug doses. So I have I have decreased her drugs to next level. And after 1 month, what happened is her blood parameters also decreased. Like fasting blood sugar is less than 100, and the postprandial blood sugar is around 140. So what should I do? Should I stamp her? She's a diabetic and should continue the drugs throughout her life. And what is next to me? Then again, I've been downscaled all the drugs, and now she's on metformin 250 milligrams OD in the morning, and her body weight is around 100 kgs, nearly 100 kgs. Metformin 250 milligrams is nothing, so it's like a placebo, I can say, for her, because a lot of I see a lot of patients, they doesn't believe that if I say that you don't have any disease, you go away, you are very well, all over blood parameters are good, and everything is fine. They doesn't believe us. So then we are forced to write some drugs, so that we have to specify them. We'll give some vitamin tablets like this, called placebos. Okay, so similarly, I was kept on her placebos, and I'm waiting for a next month result, and I want to even remove the drug. And to the astonishing thing is that even her antihypertensive been lowered to a minimal doses, and she's doing very good and very well. So this is one of the case, because a lot of cases are there, but this is one of the case that I want to share with you. So the holistic nutrition works, which has been started by my beloved friend Dr. Suresh. It's very well works with these lifestyle disorders, or what are the chronic disorders. And so it's like working like a team, the holistic coaches and the physicians This is the thing that is going to change the scenario or the way we look at these chronic diseases. So this is what I want to share with you. Thank you, Suresh.
Thank you, Dr. Nag. Thank you. That's wonderful. Nice to know your story. And being a medical doctor and a physician of a repute, and the way you embrace the holistic approach and the way you apply these principles on your patients and try to help them get rid of the unnecessary medication. See, when I say medication, there are certain medications we can easily avoid. So because we take one pill and we don't feel any kind of immediate complication, we think that it is okay. But but any kind of medication that you are taking is harmful to your body. Only thing is, like, we get to experience the effects of this chronic medication for a period of time, not immediately. So unfortunately, most of the patients, they think that, okay, taking one pill is not a big deal, but it is, in fact. So there are so many other complications that stem from this taking this chronic medication. Yes, medication is required in certain conditions, which are like, like there is no other way but to take medication. But for certain chronic conditions, there are other means to achieve the balance that the body requires to be healthy. And for that, medication is not required. And we need to look into those options as well. So yesterday, we conducted one very good session with Dr. Pawan, who's a radiologist, and who is a very passionate, who is quite passionate about fitness and health, primary healthcare and preventive healthcare. So one thing he said in yesterday's session was like, health is a byproduct. Fitness is a byproduct of what you do passionately. Okay, so here, diabetes for that matter, since today we are discussing diabetes, diabetes is a byproduct of unhealthy lifestyle. Okay, so yesterday he mentioned about like having the right kind of body alignment. When you talk about physical body, it is like right kind of body alignment. How you need to have strong muscles to support your spine so that you don't have backache or slip disc or something like that. And he himself is a very good runner. He completed so many half marathons, full marathons, and he did ultrathons even. And uh, so and he supports holistic nutrition and the way we practice wholeheartedly, and he is one of the founding pillars of holistic nutrition. So Dr. Pawan, I would like to ask you this. So most of the time when you say that there needs to be an alignment, okay, in the body, physical body, and here our colleagues in holistic nutrition works focus mainly on alignment of their thought process, right? Their subconscious patterns, their behaviors. So how important do you think that this alignment in achieving optimal health? You're, we are unable to hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, now it's fine.
Yeah. Is it about what you're asking is about physical or subconscious,
Yeah,
spiritual?
psychological,
What
subconscious
psychology?
alignment in the
Yeah,
thought process and behavior.
yeah. As I said earlier, alignment is the most important thing to run any mission or to run our body or to run a car. You need a manual, okay, where you learn how to use that vehicle or how to use your body. Unfortunately, we are dispatched without manual. Okay, here we doctors do a mechanical works like Janata Garage. We do all repairs, but we don't make you learn how to service your, how to maintain your vehicle or how to run your vehicle. So that needs to be psychological or spiritual, as you said, and As you know, we are very ignorant in those issues. I can speak a lot on physical alignment. To be frank, I don't know enough. I don't have enough knowledge to speak about psychological or spiritual alignment, but definitely alignment is necessary in every action. In everything you do, there needs to be certain alignment so that you can perform it better. Even when you are going to serve in tennis, you need certain alignment of your all the joints in a proper way. Then only you can serve it. Otherwise, it will go somewhere else. Okay, that is the difference between the athlete, a recreational athlete, a trainee. Okay,
Right.
whenever you are very good at your sport, that means your body is properly aligned to play the game or to continue the life. So alignment is a very key factor in any fact, in anything. I mean, not
Right.
only spiritual, not only physical. In every activity you do, there needs to be certain alignment factor which needs to be adjusted.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I mean, see, when you look at the definition of health by World Health Organization, it's not just the absence of disease or deformity. Okay? It is state of complete physical, psycho-emotional, and social well-being as well. So if we are not having right kind of social relationships and social health is not optimal, this may lead to a disease. Say, for example, one of our senior coaches, Sandhya, she dealt with so many cases. I mean, if I see any difficult case or like needs a lot of focus and lot of time uh, uh, with the client, so immediately I go to Sandhya and I give it to her. And one of your relative who is suffering with hypertension for so many years, okay, she is able to reverse that. I mean, I would say reverse because that person is always on like 160 by 130, always on that, and he's been to so many cardiologists all over the country traveling, but nobody could able to find out because simply we say essential hypertension. So for primary hypertension, there is no definitive cause. We don't know. But being coaches, so she looked into the part where the alignment is missing. So she could find that thing with meticulous case history taking, and finally she is able to help him bring his pressures back to normal. And coming to the diabetes cases, I mean, she dealt with so many cases and she has got so many stories to her credit. And very recently, she has got one migraine case solved, and the client is suffering with migraine for almost like 2 decades. And six and a half hours of history taking, she is able to figure it out. And yeah, exactly. 6.5 hours of history taking. Okay, and she is able to figure it out, and how she is able to figure out what is causing migraine in her case, and the client within no time, within a couple of, I mean, I wouldn't even say 2 months, I mean hardly 6 weeks, and she's happy, she is rid of this migraine attacks, and yeah, she's able to achieve. And one of the interesting stories that I would like to hear, I mean, from Sandhya and to share with all of you, is one case where the client, like in his late 50s, and very well educated, and I mean, like very high in social circles, and has got kids, and working with central government, and on insulin. Okay, and to my surprise, I mean, even Sandhya surprised me when she narrated the story and said, like, sir, this is the problem. This is the problem for his continuous elevation of sugar levels. So I addressed him. I gave him these tools. So I told him how to accept life, how to forgive people, and I corrected diet like this. So, and this guy is quite happy, and so happy with his life that, okay, my life has changed completely. Okay, the same thing happened with Daniel Lakshmi, who practices in Bangalore. That person, he is also in late 50s. And he has come almost like 1 year back. He has come on live on TV, YouTube, and said like, now I'm jumping like a kid, okay, a boy. So there are so many stories that like, but I would like to hear from Sandhya about that particular case of that gentleman uh, who was put on insulin, and now what was your relationship, what was your experience with that client? And don't take the names and the details. Yeah, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, one and all. And please bear with my voice. So, thank you for this opportunity, sir, once again. And the case is very typical. Even I got surprised that I could, that was my first case initially. So I was so intact with the history. I couldn't even see the time is just flowing. It was almost 4 hours crossed. And at the end, in the initial stage, it was just a normal, regular story. But as we were reaching the time, the actual root causes were coming out. And to my surprise, I've shared you to just figure it out into a nut, just capsule. It was a lot of resentment that the client was holding, a lot of resentment. And all the way, right from when the age of 26 years, he was on these oral glycemic drugs. And finally, he gave up the drugs. And from past 10 years, he was on this insulin, 18 units morning and 18 units evening. This was the case when he joined our program. And when I went to the history, and when I discussed with my mentor and sir, I got to touch upon the major aspects. And I usually, and I mainly focused on that rather than the diet part. Dietary part, I didn't do much intervention, because diet wise, I did not see anything much to be intervened actually. The main focus was to change his mental behavior. All the resentment that he was holding, I was focusing on that, how to get rid of these resentments. And yes, the holistic tools helped me full-fledgedly to turn off this, to unwind this resentment into a normal person. And yes, now today he's completely rid of the insulin part. So this was it. So in this case, the major thing which helped me was focusing on the person more. As the name itself says, holistic nutrition, we focus on the person rather than the disease, keeping apart. So I kept the disease side, I kept all his parameters aside, and I actually intervened more in terms of his emotional status, the mental status. And with the help of my mentor and other coaches, yes, I achieved the results. And today I proudly say that my client is no more an insulin patient. And now, in very soon, in a short period, he will be giving up his medicines also, because the kind of lifestyle he is leading now, I became a coach of his family. His daughter is my client now. His wife is my client now. So I became his family coach. So this is the bond, and this is the actual achievement I achieved in this case. So
Right.
this is it, sir. And thank you for all of you for making it a huge success. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sandhya. That's wonderful. See, I happen to meet so many doctors, and they say that, okay, whatever you are saying, you're claiming that reversal and all these things. So it happens quite naturally with young people or people who are diagnosed with diabetes quite recently. But diabetes established and people living with diabetes for more than 10 years, and already the complications, the early or the late stage complications have set in. It is quite difficult in those cases to bring them back to normal. So that means without medication, just with their lifestyle, physical activity, and diet, it is quite difficult to bring them back to normal sugar levels. So, I mean, for this reason, I thought of bringing Sanya over here, because that person is taking medication for more than 20 years. And as I mentioned, Danya's case also, he's suffering with diabetes for quite some time. And we have a coach and a client duo here. And if uh, the client is okay, let's hear from her as well. And yes, it is possible even in long-standing cases of diabetes, and the complications have set in. One of our coach, she resides in Chennai. Her name is Ravati, and she is dealing with one of the cases of nephropathy. Nephropathy means kidney gets damaged with the disease or a period of time, either because of hypertension or diabetes. In both the cases, the kidney gets damaged, and the kidney is unable to send out the waste products from our body. That we call as end stage renal disease or diabetic nephropathy or hypertensive nephropathy. So, but her patient is not in India. The patient is very well educated, and he's a MD of a very a big company, and residing in US for so long, access to one of the best doctors, and he is being like treated by one of the top nephrologists in US. And somehow he got to touch with one of our senior colleagues, Ravati, and before I let Ravati speak, let me tell you about there are different stages in nephropathy, I mean, kidney disease. Once you reach from 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, there is no coming back. And this is actually a medical study conducted in Norway, almost like in late 90s. So nephropathy, it is a one-way journey. There is no coming back. Okay. But to the surprise of the patient as well as the nephrologist who is practicing in US, I'm of course Indian origin, but settled and practicing in US, he could not believe his eyes when he looked at the patient after 2 months of intervention with one of our senior coaches. What I mean to say here in this story is it doesn't matter where in a chronic condition the complications take you. The moment you stop those, what do you say, uh, risk factors or instigating factors or the insult to the body physiology, you stop them and give the body the chance to recover or repair itself, then the body will do wonders. So Ravati, if you could spare a couple of minutes to tell us about briefly about like your journey with the patient and how a nephropathy case actually is able to come back to the normal levels. I mean, started his journey towards normal level. Yeah, please. Just a couple of minutes, not more than that.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Yes, sir. Yeah, good evening, all. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share my experience. So, this client, he joined me with a history of CKD for past 3 years, and started taking history as Sandhya said, Shah said. Taking the history is very much important. Like we have to really take care of the small details so that we are really able to cover all aspects. So in this case, what I found was like the moment we started, analyzing the CKD, generally as a clinical dietitian, we have the, belief of like working on the proteins alone. But in this case, I really learned a lot. Yeah. And the moment I started working as a holistic coach, I started addressing like why, how come this reaction is really going high, and what are the other stuff which I need to realize. A lot of insights as we don't do a single consultation, we do the follow up. So slowly, very very evident that I was able to address a lot of things, especially when I was able to see that his parathyroid hormone was high that time, and his the other parameters were absolutely normal, but the only thing is like creatinine and the parathyroid hormone. And I was able to see even his vitamin D was low. Then I slowly started educating. So really addressing was personal life, especially his married life. So a lot of counseling has to be done over there. One. So second thing, started educating about the testosterone, building up muscle because he wasn't having much muscle build up when we did the body composition analysis. So a lot of other stuff actually helped me to start work on the other aspects, which really helped me to sort out the case. And in fact, I was very happy to see that the urine creatinine excretion started increasing. So I even shared a study with her also that the research always says that once a person ends up having CKD, they don't have a comeback. Like, it is a one way. But in this case, it was proved wrong, and we were able to see a lot of improvement happening, and especially the urine creatinine excretion was improvising a lot. So this is it from my end.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ravati. And I beg your pardon because Ravati is actually traveling today. She is not in Chennai, she is in Bangalore. But still, she agreed to be part of this because I want you to learn this story. It's not that only Ravati is doing this. There are so many other coaches are also doing with so many cases, whether it is rheumatoid arthritis or osteoarthritis or hypothyroidism or high cholesterol. There are so many conditions that they are able to reverse and do it passionately. And see, many people ask us, are you one of those digital therapeutic companies? Like there are so many companies that we see that diabetes reversal, and we use this CGM, and we have this app, and with this app and this technology, and these companies are called digital therapeutic companies, and they are doing good. I mean, nothing against them. But are we a digital therapeutic company? See, we don't have an app, first of all, and we don't use any kind of machine. CGM is good in certain conditions, but it is not required. I mean, in my opinion, I could be wrong, in my opinion, for all the patients. Say, for example, Prasanna over here, and she lives in Delhi, and her client is in Coastal Andhra, Narsapuram. And she is quite an old lady and a retired headmistress and well educated. So if you are able to connect with people, okay, so what we believe in is like person to person contact. I mean, person to person relationship, a coach and a client relationship is what makes the difference possible. So I would like to request Prasanna, if you are there, so just share your experience with the family, not with your client alone, because the entire family you are in touch with, and you are dealing so many family members. So do you think that you require any kind of technology other than your phone call? Do you think that you are lacking in any kind of technology, or that without this technology, I am unable to achieve the result? So I know the kind of response you are getting with your client, Rajkumari Garu, and with the family, and the results are for everyone to see. Okay, so what do you think? I mean, like, how important is like connecting with the patient, and what made her to trust in you and achieve the result that she achieved?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving me opportunity to speak about her. So I'm really so thankful you, sir, to speak about her regarding because the beautiful results. I also wonder after 6 months, she's completely reversed her diabetes, and she also never thought in her dream that she lost 11 kilo, because it is very hard. Because she used to travel, a lot of mental trauma on her. So even I also wonder, because once only one thin line which always is back of her is emotional trauma. So when she's going through a lot of difficult times, that is the only one thing she's holding always last 6 months. When I counsel her, only the thin line, what I'm talking about, the mental trauma, she refused to take out the too much stress and all. So wonderful results came out, and right now her HbA1c is 5.3, only with these thin lines are what I'm talking. uh,
Right.
of course I have put a lot of efforts on her, because as you're mentioning, I didn't use any devices or something, just only phone call or something to get understanding to her. So I used to send some videos to get understanding. And she's the one lady, 62 years, doing herself own exercise and doing her a wonderful diet along with this mental health also she put it into practice. Then now her HbA1c is 5.3, and very very minimal doses of glycomet, that is 250 mg per day, from the glymeride to glycomet 250. So even that also doctor said no need to, if you want you can use. So this is the wonderful results I got it, sir. I have not done any extraordinary things, only 6 months just hand holding approach, what we believe, that only I did. So this is a wonderful result.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prasanna. See, what I mean to say is, see, this is not against anything that we are not demeaning or belittling technology or any kind of devices. So what we are saying is science when coupled with common sense. Okay, you don't need to do extraordinary things. Okay, all you need to do is so stick to the basic common sense issues. Okay, nothing more than that. So if you know how to figure out the cause of the cause in your client's case, then it is quite possible. But the real challenge comes when the medical community declares that, okay, this is it, and it cannot be reversed. Okay, these things come when the genetical component is implied. Say, for example, type 1 diabetes, which we see in children, because they come with this inborn error. I mean, an error by the time of at the time of their birth, that their ability to produce insulin is deranged. So, and they are not able to, their body is not able to produce enough insulin. We call this as type 1 diabetes. So in type 1 diabetes, the children, they don't grow as other healthy children. They don't grow in height, they don't grow in weight, and their, what do you say, milestones which supposed to come with the age are not achieved properly in time, and they go through a lot of depression because everyone is playing and they have to inject constantly this insulin uh, drug into their body, and they cannot eat whatever they feel like, and they don't have energy to play like other children. They go through a lot of this thing. So when I started when we started using this holistic approach, because I happened to work with it, one of the endocrinologists. There, I saw this one case of type 1 diabetes. And then it looked at the eating habits and the lifestyle and the mindset. Within a couple of weeks of counseling her, I could see a lot of change. Then it occurred to me, yes, even in type 1 diabetes, the holistic approach, connecting to the person and not the disease per se, but connecting to the person, what is there. So can we do something to accelerate the repairing mechanism or the regenerative process in a person's body? So luckily for us, I mean, there are so many wonderful coaches out there who are doing this job. And yeah, Prasanna, as you all know, also dealt with one such case. But luckily for her, she is from a small town, district headquarters close to Hyderabad, and their parents are educated, and she has got access to all the healthcare and all. But the real challenge is, what if the kid lives in a remote tribal village where they don't even have access to a smartphone, forget about smartphone, a phone, and they don't even have access to test their sugar levels on time from time to time. Okay. And not only the fact that they are unable to afford it, but even if they can afford it through some or the other means by an NGO or by someone, some other donor, the drugs are hard to come by because there is only one medical store. They have to travel a long distance to get whatever they require. Despite these challenges, one of our coach, she lives in Bangalore, and but the girl is in like deep hinterland of Nilgiri Hills, and one of the small tribal villages. And from there, she is in touch with this girl, type 1 diabetes. And I would like to all of you to hear to this story from Danya. Danya, if you are there.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. I know both of you are traveling, you and Rayati, but sorry, just couple of
That's
minutes.
okay, sir. It's our pleasure all the time, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
please.
And thank you so much for giving us the opportunity, sir. Thanks to you, and thanks to Dr. Ganesh for giving us the trust, in us, and giving the small little girls who were suffering with type 1 diabetes, and we were able to give some kind of hope in them to live further with the reducing of insulin dosage, or as you said, the milestones. The girl which I'm handling is 15-year-old girl. So she actually was underweight, and when I started with her, Then later, working with the food habits. See, food habits, though, as Sir said, she's from the tribal community. And we cannot look for a lot of protein-based food or vegetables or nothing. But the locally available foods we were just searching for, and the low-cost foods. And with that, we were able to at least attain some kind of results, like increasing her weight in some aspects. And she was not attaining her puberty since, till the age of 15. And later she was able to do that. She was able to attain her puberty when she was like 15 to 16-year-old. As like 4 to 5 months, she joined me. So we were able to guide her with small aspects that she could able to really look into. So that was the greatest happiness that created not only for the girl, but for the complete family, who showed a beautiful gratitude, I would say, when they saw the girl matured and gained weight, and the insulin started coming down. So thank you so much, sir.
Wonderful. I mean, that's quite an emotional journey for Danya as well, and not only for the girl, and for the entire student community in our HNTP. Everyone celebrated that particular milestone. So yes, it is possible, and I'm not saying that this is the only way. See, we are able to figure out certain things, and which are not being the forte of regular medical doctors. I know all the doctors are pressed for their time, and they are good in their chosen field. Say, for example, an endocrinologist, we should be going to an endocrinologist when there is something seriously abnormal with our hormones, not something that easily be corrected with our lifestyle. So they can correct it, but remember, all the doctors, they keep saying that go to a dietitian, watch your food, lose some weight, do the physical activity, but none of us take them seriously, and end up suffering with the disease for years together. And don't ever blame the doctors for your condition, because their job is to prescribe a pill so that your sugar levels don't go overboard, and you end up having complications. But rest of the things, we all need to take responsibility for our own actions and our own lifestyle. And it is not quite easy. They say old habits die hard, and I would say it is very difficult, equally difficult, to nurture and cultivate new habits, new healthy habits. For that, you need a coach. That's what we are doing at Holistic Nutrition Works with all the wonderful coaches. And we have just started, and there are so many other stories I would like to share. Say, for example, in the creative video that we shared, I've shown that from Chennai to Atlanta, US. So that is the nephropathy case that Ravati shared. And the Bangalore to Nilgiris is the Danya's story. And the another one is from uh, Northern India, that is like New Delhi to Australia. So we have Shika Kotari, who has got so many clients in Australia, and Neelam Jain, especially, she trained one patient who lives in Australia, and he has come out of diabetes just like that. See, the reason why I picked up, so though we have more than hundreds and hundreds of cases, why I picked these things up. Access to diabetes care is the theme for World Diabetes Day till 2023. And whether it is US or Australia or a tribal village or anywhere. Okay. So as coaches, we don't need anything. We in Holistic Nutrition Works, we perfected a model of counseling and taking the history and identifying the cause of the cause and helping the patients, no matter whether they are educated or uneducated or half educated or Google educated. Okay, we know how to deal with them, and the team is doing wonderfully well. And I took this opportunity of Diabetes Day to showcase some of the wonderful things our coaches are able to achieve. Okay, so if you come across anyone who is suffering unnecessarily, see, there are certain things. I mean, people they do suffer with a lot of illness, and but the suffering is an optional thing. We can help them come out of that suffering a bit. So feel free to reach out to us. You all know our website, holisticnutritionworks.com. Just go there, give your name, and we'll reach out to you and whatever problem you have. So I would like to share so many other stories as well, but so we need to stick to our timings, 5 to 6, and we get only 2 minutes left. And I thank all the coaches who worked for this wonderful session today on World Diabetes Day, and all the coaches who are doing wonderful job with your clients, whether it is PCOD, helping people beat infertility or hypothyroidism or rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, and one of our coach actually helped a cancer patient again in US, very old, and everyone has given up on them. And some of the parents who are here and their kids are there in US, and they're bedridden and they're able to go to US now because of our coaches, when everybody has written them off and given them up. Okay, this is what we do at Holistic Nutrition Works, and we are not saying we are the only solution, but our solution works quite effectively, and in a what do you say, without using lot many resources. All you need to is get connected with the person. Okay, with this I would like to conclude today's session. If you have any questions, all of you were given access to our WhatsApp community. Please do post your questions over there. And the session is being live streamed on YouTube. You can post your questions in YouTube as well. And we'll be quite happy to answer all your queries. Thank you all very much. And Prasanna and Sandhya, thank you very much for putting this up program. It was nice talking to you all. And those, all of you who have attended, thank you very much for believing in us. And this gives us strength to take our services
Dr.
further.
Dr. Alam and Dr. Vijay also here.
Oh,
all are joined just now. Yeah.
Okay. Alim, thank you. Thank you for joining. I know today is your day and you are quite busy. And thank you for joining. Hello, Alim? Dr. Alim, are you there?
Dr. Vijay is there, sir.
Yeah. Dr. Vijay is a very good friend of mine. In 2011, where I saw one ad in a newspaper. So who will solve the problem of diabetes? So then I have come to Hyderabad and I met two gentlemen. One is Dr. Ramesh Bhairapaneni and another one is Satish Andra. So they were conducting this program, like how do we solve the problem of diabetes in India? So that's how I
Sir, you are in mute.
He's a diabetologist and a very good friend of mine who believes in the kind of work that I do. One thing that I should say about Vijay is uh, he said one thing. So Suresh, I mean, we were attending a conference and he said, like, Suresh, if I know that the other doctor is better than me, I would refer my patient to that doctor. Okay. And it takes enormous amounts of integrity and guts to say that. Okay. He would always say, okay, Suresh, I mean, could you please look into the nutrition aspect of this patient? He doesn't carry any kind of a, being such a wonderful doctor and carrying a lot of responsibilities and all these things. So Vijay, I would like to hear from you. And so I just gave the difference between digital therapeutics and company. So I don't have anything about digital therapeutics. They are doing good, but see, you don't have to do extraordinary things to achieve what we call as like euglycemic state. So what's your take on this?
Sure. So I think, Suresh, I don't want to hold everyone around because we are done with that. First of all, apologies from my side. I could not finish that earlier review ahead of time. I really appreciate your time and your efforts, as we know. But the only one thing which I would like to share and then probably leave it there, right? So usually if you see routinely, right, we are all living, probably most of people are living two kinds of lives, right? One what we live every day and the other one is on the social media life. So you have a beautiful picture on post, then you feel, it has its own emotions, and we feel that that's what is life, right? And but there's life much more beyond and behind. Similarly, the only input what I would say is that the issue of this diabetes, management of blood sugar, in a nutshell, if you ask me in one line, it's all about having a balance between what you eat, how you spend, versus what insulin is given by the body, whether it is through body itself or some medications or insulin directly. That's a balance. But when do you have the seriousness, right? Most of the time, it only happens when you have either a lab report in your palms or when you are at a consultation phase. That is good, that is real, but there's life beyond that. So all numbers are being influenced by every activity that you do. So that's the only thing which I would say, which would probably, we will have another one as a detailed session. Please treat this as a real life, not a snapshot on social media.
Wonderful, to the point and crisp. Thank you so much, Vijay.
Thanks for that.
It's always nice talking to you. Alim, are you there, Dr. Ali? Right, probably we'll have a panel session
There is a
sometime
network
later
issue from
with Dr. Ali.
doctor's end.
Yeah. So with this, I think we need to conclude the session. And thank you all very much. Thank you, Vijay, Dr. Pawan, Dr. Nag, and all the coaches for attending the session. Sandhya and Prasanna, thank you once again for making this happen.
Thank you indeed,
And,
sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
And I thank
Have a
all the
wonderful evening.
doctors for taking out their time in spite of today being World Diabetes Day. I know you will be hooked up with a lot of programs. So thank you one and all doctors for taking out this time and coming and gracing up this event.
I will take another minute, it's probably 20 seconds, right? All who heal are doctors. Anyone who heals are doctors. And that's as per, if you define the definition of health as a holistic one, you need to expand the word doctor also. Whoever is healing in every aspect should be considered as a doctor. So appreciate all your efforts there in addressing the global burden. Good luck.
Thank you. That is quite encouraging, Vijay. Right. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Sure. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah.